Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Tomorrow is TGIF, so hope to see you at 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time for our Friday live stream, our TGIF live stream. I've got a lot of news for you today, ladies and gentlemen, and believe it or not, I actually have another video coming up after this one, and if you don't want to get angry, don't watch that video. Fair warning, because that video that's coming up after this one will make you angry. All right, if you have to work for a living, it'll make you very angry. But let's go ahead and get to today's news. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going on all over the world, in my opinion. The United Nations, with their SDG, or their Sustainable Development, I forget what the G stands for, is getting all corporations and whatever countries they can on board to eliminate enough food so that they can control us with food. Right, just take a look around. I'm not being a theorist here, a sea theorist. Just take a look around and see what's happening. How backwards a world we live in when a nation that produces a lot of food per capita and exports a lot of its food, very high quality food, is told to stop farming for the most part. When at the same time, all of these world leaders, all of these non-governmental organizations, the EU, the World Food Bank, even the president of the Bank for International Settlements, says we're going into a deep famine where almost 1 billion people are projected to die because of hunger. Dutch government accused of following globalist policies which will lead to food shortages. Not only will, but that are leading to food shortages, ladies and gentlemen. There's many people around the world. If you live in a first world nation, consider yourself blessed, because there are many people around the world right now as I speak, that are starving. Those familiar with the most recent farmer protests in the Netherlands are saying that the Dutch government's climate nitrogen reduction, consider that nitrogen is about 70-75% of the air that we breathe. They want to get rid of nitrogen. Think about this. Just think about this. Do your own research, okay? And by the way, the carbon in the air is only about 0.03%. All right? Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start over again, okay? Those familiar with the most recent farmer protests in the Netherlands are saying that the Dutch government's climate nitrogen reduction policies targeting farmers actually have nefarious goals. Dutch farmers see it as an effort to seize their land, and experts say these climate policies are a part of a global agenda to control the means of food production that, if allowed to play out, will end up in a global food crisis worse than what we are experiencing right now. And it looks like the Dutch farmers took a play out of the truckers from Canada. Hundreds of Dutch farmers and many truckers are trying to bring attention to the government's proposed policies, which, if implemented, would effectively handicap the farmers, and many would be financially ruined. In an effort to capture the public's attention, the Dutch farmers are blocking roads and infrastructure that distribute their goods, leaving Netherlands stores' shelves empty. People need to wake up. And if that's what it takes, if it takes empty shelves at the stores for people to wake up and see what's going on, then that's what it takes. Because those empty shelves, ladies and gentlemen, that are now being induced by the actions of man, eventually they're going to be empty all the time. So would you rather go through a little bit of pain now so that you can wake up and understand what's going on? And then you can resume a normal life where you actually have food, where you have the availability of food, the way that you've been known to have it throughout your entire life. For almost everyone that's alive now, there's always been availability of food, except for those third world nations that, in my opinion, get raped by developed nations who steal their resources and keep them poor on purpose, just like the UN said on a paper. And if you haven't seen that video from MD Creekmore, I'll try to leave it posted on the upper right hand corner over here so you can go check that video. He went ahead and archived a letter that the UN posted back, I think it was, I don't know, early 2000s, 2010 or something like that. I don't remember exactly when. But it literally says on that paper that it is good for the elite to have a world of poor people, because people that are hungry and poor, they work a lot harder. Not my words. And this journalist here says many people are not tracking. Many are and tend to be highly supportive of the farmers, but many are just going about their daily lives just like Americans and Canadians and others do. This is coming to a city near you. We have to wake up as a nation, as a world. They need to get that wake-up call. Like, listen, you are going to get it sooner or later. You're going to get hit sooner or later. Would you rather have your shelves empty now for just a really short time, or be under the thumb of the beast or the World Economic Forum forever, he said. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't think that there is a small group of people trying to take over the world, then, God bless you. All right? God bless you. Go back to living your normalcy, biased lives. Everything's going to be all right. Unfortunately, many followers will starve. And for those of you that are prepared, the followers are going to be those who are the most dangerous. Now, this is a contagion that I would consider a lot more dangerous than that we've been going through for the last couple of years, as we are told. We decided to stop paying. Who's that? China's mortgage payment boycott spreads as property suppliers refuse to pay their bills. And what's China doing in order to fill in the gap? I do believe that they are selling a whole bunch of U.S. Treasury notes. And what does that mean? Ladies and gentlemen, when the bond market implodes, everything implodes with it. The Great Debt Jubilee is picking up speed. China's homebuyer mortgage boycott, which prompted Beijing to scramble to avoid a potential devastating crash in what is the world's biggest asset. And the housing market in China is the world's biggest asset. They show you here in a little graph that they have. And what happens is, ladies and gentlemen, is that the investment that is made into China's property, it's not just within China. It's spread throughout the world. So you know that pension plan that you have? More than likely they're vested in some of these investments. And when this tumbles, man, it is going to spread everywhere. So this is definitely something that we need to keep our eyes on. In addition to that, I saw a video yesterday that the Economic Ninja put out where the Chinese government has now brought tanks out to the street to protect who? Can you guess? Let me give you a couple of seconds. The Chinese government has brought tanks out to the streets to protect the banks, ladies and gentlemen, not the people, to protect the banks. If you remember me talking to you about how the price of beef at the store is probably going to stabilize or even go down a little bit for the next several months, this is why, in my opinion, drought is causing large cattle sell-off. So the drought is causing the price of course, water to go up, number one, and the price of feed to go up as well. Ranchers and farmers cannot afford to keep their cattle. They can't afford to feed them. And a lot of these cattle that they cannot afford to feed are heifers, the ones that are raised to have babies or to have little baby cows, right? Now, what are they doing with them? They are selling them, and they are being culled, and they are being put in the market as meat. Now, why does this matter? Because even though we're getting a relief in price of beef for maybe in the next several months or so, eventually, sometime next year, it's going to catch up to us, and the market will see that there is not enough cattle in the market because the ranchers and farmers have sold them off, and they ended up on our plates. Why? Because they didn't really have a choice. They either go out of business and keep the cows, or they sell the cows and fight to live another day. So I see that this is going to affect us next year. Right now, we are enjoying, can't really say enjoying because the prices are still high comparatively to a year ago and 2 years ago. But we are enjoying a stable price of beef, whereas sometime next year it's going to go up. Why do I say this? Why do I bring this up? Do you have a pressure canner? Do you have a freeze dryer? Go ahead and start putting up beef if you like beef at these prices, because I see them going up substantially next year. It's almost like they knew something was going to happen. This is an article written on the 4th of October of 2021. Germans are being taught to cook without electricity due to looming energy crisis. Nothing happens by coincidence. Russia resumes Nord Stream natural gas deliveries to Europe. That is good news. Although I believe that they're not sending the same amount that they were before. It's a little bit reduced, but still, that is great news. After more than a week of maintenance, Russia resumed sending natural gas to Europe through the Nord Stream pipeline, dispelling investors' fears of a doomsday scenario, and that's great. Let's see. Russian natural gas flowed through the biggest pipeline into Europe at roughly 40% capacity, the same level before flows were curtailed to zero for 10 days for planned maintenance. And I think they actually started it up a couple of days early, because I believe they started it back up yesterday, and it was supposed to go through the 22nd, I believe. All right, don't quote me on that. We are in the process of resuming gas transportation. It will take several hours to reach the declared volumes for Nord Stream 1. The resumption of this morning of flows along Nord Stream is likely to lead to a collective sigh of relief from not just the European gas market, but from the wider economy. Now, I think that this is a strategic play for Russia. And when you go to war, especially when you're trying to take over another country, what do? You have to win the minds and the hearts of the people. Now, I am pretty sure that the people, maybe not the government, because government is just fearmongers, right? But the people of Germany, who this would have affected the most, remember that should they shut off their gas, it's the people that are going to pay the price, not the governments. Take a look at what happened in Sri Lanka when they took over the government's palace. How everything was lit up. They had electricity. They had a heated swimming pool or whatever. It was pristine condition. Everything was great while the people outside were starving. No fuel, no nothing. They were living it up. So remember that it is the people that pay the price. But here the people are going to see this as a good thing that Russia did, that they continue to send them gas, especially when they're going to need it so much coming this winter. So I think that they're maybe trying to win over the people's hearts and their minds. However, that's just me speculating. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the kind of news that I like to see. So I'm going to end this video with this. Teen finds woman's purse and is rewarded with $17,000 after he delivers it to her. So I'm not going to read the story for you. I've already read it. So I'll just tell you what the gist of it is. But I will leave it in a pinned comment. I'll leave the link in a pinned comment down below so that you can go revisit it if you like. But this young man here went ahead and found a purse in a supermarket parking lot, I believe it was. And the purse did not contain that much stuff. It contained some credit cards and a little bit of cash in it. But he brought it to where she lives, and she just happened not to be there. And her roommates were, so he left it with her roommates. And when she got back, she was like, wow, this is so awesome. Who is this young man? So they looked at their video footage from, I think it's their Ring camera that they have in front of the house. They looked at the video footage and they put it up on social media, and they found him. And she started a GoFundMe for him, and the GoFundMe rose to $17,000 as of the writing of this story. So that is so awesome. That not only teaches this young man a lesson, right? That if you do the right thing, you will be rewarded. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you will be rewarded for doing the right thing. But more importantly, it teaches a lesson to everyone that reads this story and knows about this story. So I think this is a great story to end the video with. Like I said, I do have one more video coming out. And if you don't want to get angry, don't watch the video, ladies and gentlemen. I actually read some of the comments on the video that I put up about Gideon, you know, the Gideon interview. And I'm actually going to do part 2 of that here. Maybe tomorrow I'll do part 2. So those of you that want to watch it can watch it. But I am very glad that I put out that disclaimer in the beginning of that video where I told people, listen, this is not fear-mongering. This is just something that I'm reading that I was sent from someone that's an insider. And his name is Gideon, telling us what's coming in the future, or what he sees coming in the future if things keep going the way they are today. And someone left a comment and said, thank you very much for letting me know this. I really don't want to see this type of news right now because it gives me anxiety, and I can understand that. So the video that I got coming up next, it will make you angry. If you're of a thinking mind, you know, if you can think clearly, it will make you angry. But it's very important that you understand. It's very important that you understand what I cover on this next video. It'll be up sometime this afternoon. Having said that, have a great day. Thank you very much for all of your support, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, for our TGIF live stream. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, so you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out.